Can we take a moment to acknowledge that beauty? Just like what nature is able to create. So beautiful. There is a difference between being and feeling full and being and feeling nourished. Do you see the distinction? Like, is it something that you can feel in your body? So when you eat and you feel full and satisfied, doesn't mean that you are or you have nourished your body. Eating and nourishing is completely opposite, even though it could sound similar or the same. And this is a distinction that makes the whole difference nowadays in what we eat and how we feel. So first of all, let's say that you are eating extremely healthy, the most healthy you could. You're trying to source your products at the farmer's market, at the best source. You're checking where it's coming from. You make sure there is not too many person in between from the source and your house. Even though this sounds like the most ideal scenario, what you eat may not nourish yourself completely. So it's something that we have to be aware nowadays. It's that our soil is depleted, our vegetable or source of protein or everything that we eat doesn't contain enough nutrients, minerals, and vitamin and goodness. We don't have enough anymore contained in this because there are a lot of like pollution around, a lot of pollutants and a lot of chemicals. So let's say just like take an example like a fruit or a carrot, like a vegetable that should contain a certain amount, or we expect it to contain carotene and these kind of things. For example, for the carrot, like this amount of vitamin. So let's say if I take this 100 gram, for 100 gram, I should get this amount of vitamins. And that's what we expect. That's what should happen, but doesn't happen anymore. And it's a very sad, but it's also a true fact. So even though you are eating the most healthy that you can, you are still not fully nourished. So you still should take and supplement yourself with minerals and vitamins daily. But what I want to talk about is the other type of food that we have in our industry, like processed food, fast food, all of these like prepared like meal, and the food that are like contained in plastic containers. These food that are contained or pre-prepared have way less minerals than if we were taking and buying them from the source and cooking them ourselves. So it's already a food that has been transformed, processed, depleted along the way. And on top of it, you have additional things like seed oils, colorant, artificial, like there's a lot of things that are added into the prepared food that you do not want to eat. So now you buy your vegetables at the organic shop, organic stores, or at the farmer's market. So it's already a better way, a better chance to have access to more nutrients and a better chance to have less chemicals, pesticides, and everything on it, right? It's also usually not wrapped in plastic, so you have less chance to have microplastic on your vegetables. So we are in a world where the challenge is already to make sure of the source of where you are buying your supplies, Where are you buying your vegetables? Where are you buying your meat, your fish? Are you going to the farmer's market, to the organic stores, or are you more going to the supermarkets? Because there is a big difference between these two, and it's something that is really changing how you're nourishing your body. For example, you go to the farmer's market, right? So you're buying your vegetables from the producer. So it's already better because you have less people in between. You can talk and buy directly from the source. But buying from that source doesn't mean that this person isn't using pesticides or any chemical in the process of farming, unless it's certified organic or it has certain labels, or unless that's part of his brand's value, right? When you buy, for example, your vegetables at the supermarkets, there is already a lot of transitioning in between from the source until the grocery store. And sometimes, and most of the time, these vegetables or food are contained and wrapped into plastic. When you have like these like pre-prepared, for example, the fruit cut in a box or the fish already cut and wrapped, like all of these containers are made of plastic. So you're basically eating plastic when you eat it. So these are the things that you want to avoid. When you are buying, for example, your meat at the butcher, same, it's also directly at the source. But then you need to ask yourself, like, are you testing the meat for heavy metals, or is it grass-fed meat or grain-fed? Like, usually these are the questions that I would ask, or I would find a supplier that already has all the certifications to make sure that I am not feeding myself with chemicals and heavy metals. So these are the challenges that are already part of our daily life. Like, where do you source yourself? Where do you buy your food? So even if you eat healthy, you have to go further by trying to find the source of where and how they're doing it. Because the how will impact a lot what and how you are nourishing your body. I think it's something that we know, but we tend to forget. And fruits and vegetables are covered with chemicals and pesticides. And even if the farm where you're buying it from is certified and they're not using it, this doesn't protect you from the fact that the wind may blow some pesticides and chemicals from the neighbor's land. So these are the little challenges already from a very healthy source. But when you buy from the less healthier or less conscious source, it's more challenging for your health, because you think, oh, I'm eating vegetables and proteins and a little bit of carbs, and I'm like very conscious about like the quantities to make sure I have enough energy, but I'm not giving too much fats or these kind of things. You think I'm eating very healthy, but the source of what you are feeding yourself with matters a lot. So it's the same for the fish or the meat or any protein, how it's been harvested and their values. Are they injecting the animals with hormones or not? How are they feeding the animals? And does this meat contains heavy metals or not? Does it contain anything? Like, can we know? I think we have to be more conscious about it, because as expressed before, our food contains less minerals, less nutrients and goodness for our body. But if on top of it, we are feeding our body with pesticides and hormones and heavy metals, it's loading our our body, our cells, with poison. And these challenges, poison, are challenging our body and our health daily. And the micro amount that we are eating every single day and consuming every single day is adding up very quickly in your body, and it takes a lot of time to get rid of it. It takes years to clear your body from these toxins. So you really want to make sure that you are mindful about where your food is coming from. If you're eating out a lot, you want to make sure that the restaurant that you're going or the restaurants that you are going are and have the same values as yourself. So now let's speak about fast food and processed food. There is the big example, the big names that we all know, that are mostly serving nuggets and burgers and French fries and these kind of things. So, to my opinion, this is not food, right? If I eat or if I fill myself up with something from there without naming them, I see this as a challenge for my body. So we go back to, are we full or are we nourished? Because this is not nourishing your body at all. It's basically giving yourself a challenge on top of it. It's testing your body ability to process, to digest, to try to process that food that you're giving. If you look online, the composition of this food, if you believe in what Google say, it's saying that it's 100% chicken, 100% meat, that there is nothing else. I honestly do not believe it. But let's say in the most beautiful world, let's say that this is. What they are adding to it is the challenge. The oil that they're using, like canola oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, all of these are seed oils. This is what you want to avoid. You want to avoid eating seed oils. So there are a lot of additives. It's processed, it's fried, it's filled with oils, and it's not filled with nutrients. So basically, when you eat this kind of food, like fast food, ultra processed food, you're not nourishing your body and you're testing your body, you're challenging your body. It's the double hit. You really are arming yourself. So nowadays, our bodies are depleted with minerals. Our stress is eating minerals. The way we live is eating up our minerals because we are doing way too much. We are doing things that we shouldn't be doing as humans, way too much, not taking a break, probably overeating, eating too much sugar, too much fats and oils and these kind of things. So when you go to eat and you want to nourish yourself and instead you're just filling yourself up with more challenges, it really leads to disease. It leads to sickness. It leads to chronic inflammation. It leads to fatigue, chronic fatigue, because your body is taking on too much and is not able to manage it anymore. In this kind of food, there is no nutrients. It's extremely inflammatory. It's filled with sugar, additives, and it's very hard to digest. So I always wonder, why would you go there? Like, why? I see a lot of people taking their kids to McDonald's and all these places, and I'm always wondering, why would you give this to your kids? I mean, why would you give it to yourself? So I think that for certain populations and certain countries, this is becoming less of a habit, but it's still like a treat. It's still considered as a treat or, okay, a shit day, right? Like today we're gonna eat to McDonald's. So people are happy, excited. Oh, today like we're eating a little less good and everything, but there is no goodness in there. There is nothing good for yourself. And when I see that this is everywhere in the world and there's still open locations and you still have the queue line at midnight, people going there after clubs, like I always wondered. So yes, it's made for you to love it. Yes, there is a lot of like taste enhancers for you to love, and but I do believe that there are also a lot of things that makes you addict, things that makes you want it. Because of course, if you give all this sugar, salt, and all these like oils, like it's kind of like waking up certain sensors in your body that are like, oh, I love that. But actually, no, it's a false information because it's not good for you. And you could find this effect with something else, but it's the easy way. And our brain, our body is very smart and has a deep memory. So it remembers how it was when it had this or that. So when you think about it, it's directly sending a sensors to your brain, and you kind of have a taste of this adrenaline or this like secreted hormone that you feel in your body, like that goodness, or this like cortisol spike. And of course, then you want to go. But if I can give you one advice, the biggest advice I could give here is do not go there. Stop eating at these places and start to be mindful about the fact like, am I nourishing or am I just filling myself up with something, with some food? Like now, every time I go to the restaurant or I cook for myself, I always make sure like, do I have enough protein here? Do I have enough vitamins, greens, fibers, like for my body to function as it should on a daily basis? Like receiving enough energy, being able to go to the toilets daily, because that's something we should be able to do. We shouldn't be constipated. We shouldn't be um, going to the toilet every 4 days. Like we should go daily. So if you don't, there is a whole story around it, but it's most of the time it's dehydration, but also because you're not eating what you should be eating for you to go. And we should have everything. Life is like our world is made in such a beautiful way, and at least what is natural here, but we should have everything we need. And we don't because our world is polluted. But try to focus on the source. Try to focus on the goodness, the quality, and the nutrients that you are ingesting daily, and you will see a difference. If you stop eating seed oils and fast food and processed food, already this is the big step to recovery. Even before even starting to buying better. Like if you just buy and you cook for yourself or you're mindful about the source, it's already a huge steps towards healing and recovery and well-being in your mind and body and self. I was thinking I could maybe record a recipe about like what can be done instead. Like for example, if your kids are asking for a burger or french fries, like you could cook it for them, but how to make it as good as how to do. And I was thinking I could create a recipe for you to really make this kind of food really nourishing, knowing the source, using the best oils you can, and I'm sure you will feel the difference after. Let me know if it's something that you will like. I love creating recipes and using my knowledge to create the best recipe for ourselves. I think it's something that I will do soon, like a nice recipe of the alternative for fast food, or at least redoing this fast food recipe at home in the best way that makes your craving satisfied. but also your body nourished.